Alright, well, welcome to Sus, Share Your Scare, where we talk to different people, hear their stories of survival, paranormal, and all things sus. I'm your host, Brendan Taylor. I'm here with my brother, Jake.
What's up?
And today we have on two heartthrob paranormal enthusiasts, award-winning, party-throwing, and now authors, Sam and Colby. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Yeah!
That was
We're the best.
epic, man. That was a good intro.
Yeah. All things sus is what you said.
Yeah, all things sus, man. Anything, suspicious
We
going
can
on?
get really sus.
Well, that's a different podcast. That's the late night podcast.
Got it.
Save that for another time.
Yeah, well, we go way back, guys. Like, we've known each other for I don't know how many years now. Maybe like 6, 8,
5, 6,
something.
Yeah, when Vine was still alive, right?
Yeah, R.I.P. Vine,
Rest
man.
in peace. We've
So how'd
been
you
more
guys
than friends
meet?
for a long time.
Wait,
Yeah, how did we meet?
Yeah, how did we meet?
Through the VMs?
Yeah,
the Vine messages?
We knew each other, but like we didn't really like know each other because we just talked over messages.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
all Vine messaging, which Sam did. I never did any of that.
Revine for Revine.
Revine for
Hell
Revine, man.
yeah.
I remember, like, I would never text Colby because
Never.
he would never respond. If ever I wanted a Revine, I'd just go straight to Sam.
Nothing's
Yeah.
changed, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
Wait, didn't they not like you?
Well, it wasn't that we didn't like each other. We just didn't really know each other, and like we kind of didn't really. I don't know, because I remember
We were in completely different friend groups.
Yeah.
It was
So-
that. It was that. I think it was like the content, right?
Yeah, we
just
both
like,
we just didn't like. We didn't not like each other's content. We just weren't like huge fans of each other.
Yeah.
So it was
We
like,
all did cringy stuff.
Yeah,
so it
we
doesn't
were
matter.
all cringy, and like it was like I don't know, it was such a weird space in like Vine. Everything was competitive in a way, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like we
Definitely.
were all competitions. We shouldn't look at things like that, but that's how things were looked.
100%.
And I remember seeing you guys at that one party. We won't name the brand or anything, but you
Yeah.
guys remember those
Yeah.
parties
Oh, yeah.
that they used to throw.
all the
Oh,
time.
God.
And that's where I first ever saw you guys. I remember, I think it was Big Nick. He was like, "Yo, Sam and Colby are here," and I was like, "Oh, those guys." But look, later on, we developed a great friendship with each other.
Yeah.
So.
It's all
You
meant
can-
to be, you know?
It all happened, man. Like, so let's get into like you guys, right? We can kind of know that you guys came from Kansas. Like everyone knows Sam and Colby, right?
Oh, yeah, every single person in
Every
the entire
Everybody in the
world
Human.
knows
knows
Sam
who
and
we are.
Colby. But how did you guys really like form Sam and Colby? You know what I mean? Like, how did it
That's
happen?
a great question, actually, because a lot of people don't ask that for some reason. But yeah, so we were both in band camp.
Band camp.
That's like we were forced to do band camp, right?
Little nerds.
Our parents made us do that, and because we had to go every single day during like the summer, that's how like we met. It's just like the hours every single day, like we had to, and eventually, like,
So you're making it sound like military school or something.
dude,
Jeez.
band camp was fucking horrible.
boot camp.
Okay,
Drop
we
it, give me
can-
50. Yeah, you can.
Okay, cool. But anyways, like became friends like through that, and then I started watching like YouTube, and that's like how like I first introduced that to you. Like Sam didn't like social media at all.
Oh, for real?
And yeah, it was like
Yeah.
one of those things like we were already like close friends, and I was like, why don't we just try to like do this? And then yeah, we did. It was more just kind of like a
Which is super weird
Weird
because
friendship
Kansas, like everyone hated social media. Everyone
Everybody.
who did any social media, or anyone even took a selfie, they're like, "Oh, you're a narcissist. Like, why
Yeah.
would you ever do that?" So it's super weird times. And when we started, we got like bullied pretty hard for it. But we're like, we don't care. Like, if we actually make it, like all these other guys on YouTube that he watches, then we're gonna be out of here. It doesn't
Right.
matter.
What was the the main like idea, like when for example, like when I started Vine, like I wanted to do Vine because I had a girlfriend and I wanted to get famous, you know, like that was I wanted a girlfriend and we broke up, and like I just felt like I was not doing anything with my life. I want to get famous. That was my
Yeah.
goal. What was your guys' goal with starting?
That's an interesting question.
Yeah.
We have like a couple different answers for that, but I think the main one that started is when we first met in band camp. We're like super shy kids, like super anxious, and we had no idea how to talk to anybody. Like we were like the least confident kids ever, and we're like, you know what? Why is it? How is it fair that all these other people are so much more popular than us and can do all these cool things? And why are there people out there that are like famous and all this? Why couldn't we do it?
Right.
So it was more like we challenged ourselves to do it. You know, like if those other people can do it, we could do it too.
Yeah.
You know, what's to say we can't? So we spent like 2 years of our lives like trying to change or become more confident. And then once we mastered that, not mastered, but I guess got a lot better than we did. We were like, oh, now let's try the fame thing. If other people can do that, let's just try it. And like the most orthodox people to do social media down in Kansas, like why? Like odds are against us. Let's try it anyway.
Yeah,
So it's more
exactly.
like proving Proving it wrong.
Proving it wrong, and like also we wanted to like share that message because we were so awkward.
Yeah.
Like turn like confident. We wanted to like tell as many people as possible, like, hey, you could do that too. I feel like a lot of people like deal with that like in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got a question. So, I mean, me and Brennan grew up like in the entertainment industry, like actors, like modeling from like super young. So, what was your guys' dream like prior to this? Like, what were you guys gonna do for the rest of your life before social media?
Yeah, well, see, yeah, that's the thing is like social media started for us like around like 16, 17, and so like the only plan I had really was like maybe I wanted to like do something with business, but I had no idea. I got like accepted into Kansas University, KU.
Nice.
But only like to do like core classes. I had no clue what I wanted to do. So, yeah,
I
zero
think,
clue.
honestly, social media was a blessing because I think both of us were kind of just
Lost.
you know, lost, like aimlessly walking around. Oh, we're just along for the ride until we know. At that time, though, we were 16, turning 17 and stuff, so it's not like we knew what we were going to do for the rest of our lives.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, both of our parents are like in business and whatnot, so assuming doing that stuff. But that's boring compared to what we do now. You know?
Exactly. Isn't it crazy that we just have this opportunity to do what we do? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's a job. Like
And in a way, it is business. Like
Right.
we kind of did like what I wanted to do, but in a different way. Yeah.
Exactly. So
Crazy.
you guys were starting out doing Vines and stuff. Past that now. So later on in life, you guys started exploring places, right? Like we'll fast forward to Los Angeles. Now you guys are here and you're exploring stuff.
Yeah.
How did the interest of that come?
So believe it or not, I don't know if I've ever like talked to you about this, but like we used to explore all the time, like in Kansas, because like that's like all there was to do. It was like we had like our public mall where everybody like would go to, and like besides that, on the weekends everybody would like go to like an abandoned warehouse that we had like in a field. It's kind of strange, but
It's a little
that's
sketchy.
like
Yeah, we went to the movies. You know?
everybody's sus on here, right?
Yeah, there we go.
So
The only thing fun to do in Kansas is break laws, so that's what we decided to do on
that's
YouTube.
what we did. Yeah,
And
we
then,
did that all the time.
so now we're into the breaking laws. Like that actually ended up kind of being the downfall of your exploring, right?
Yes,
We knew that would happen one day. But
everybody did.
Yeah. So it wasn't like it came to a surprise, but we're like, one of these days it's gonna catch up to us. But it was really fun doing it. You know, over and over and over. That's like half the reason why people watch these videos is because it was exhilarating. We're like, we don't know when we're gonna get caught. You know, our whole career could be over tomorrow. We don't know. So like that was kind of like the coolest part of it. But we've gotten a lot of very close calls with the legal, you know.
Yeah.
areas. I don't know how we want to say that, but yeah, it's not like it happened like once or even twice. Like we have a lot of close run-ins with
Even
people,
in Kansas,
with people, with cops, with other like homeless people. Like I don't know, it was
bad.
crazy.
It was really scary.
So what like when this was happening, like the first time you got in trouble with the law, like were you not thinking like, damn, maybe this is a sign, maybe I should stop here? Like what drove it to the point of you guys,
I don't know why, but it gave us like motivation. We were just like, yeah, if we got out of that one, like we're never gonna get caught.
Exactly.
Like, we're good.
We've been getting out of it for like 5 years because we started getting in trouble with the cops maybe like 15, 14, because we again, like the only thing to do in Kansas was to go to these abandoned places. So we were used to talking to cops like that because they're all cool, you know. In Kansas, like, oh, you guys are in an abandoned place, as long as you're not, breaking anything,
Right.
better than selling drugs. So
yeah, that's for sure.
Just trespassing.
So you guys were getting away with it for a while. You guys, your confidence is high, you know what I mean? Because you guys are masters of confidence. We already discussed that. So you guys are feeling good, and then what happens? Break me down, if you guys want to talk about it. Break me down the situation from when it happened. Like, did you have the moment? Yeah. Did you have a feeling going into that day that this is a bad idea, or like what was it like?
The thing is, it starts 2 days prior.
Oh god! So 2 days before. This is, I don't know how like deep you want to go. So like if it's too long of a story, cut me off. But 2 days ago, we got held at gunpoint.
What?
Yeah. It was, so we like landed in
Wait, by cops or by random people?
It was like school, like not like officers, but like school.
Yeah, it was
school security or something?
School security, yeah.
School security, and then officers, and then the sheriffs.
Oh my god!
It was an intense situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, long story short, everything went wrong in Florida. I don't know why. It just happens every time we've gone there. It's just not very good. But anyway, so we land in Florida. 30 minutes after we get off the plane, we're in an abandoned hospital. And we go to the very top, and we're like, you know what? This is probably not the best idea because it's right by the airport. There's tons of cops, and we're like waving our cameras at the top of the building. Probably not the smartest. We go back down because we hear people, and then we're like running around, and we are, right about out the exit. It's so sad. And then we see someone like in like this yellow, security like thing, and then we start running. And then we run across and we hop this fence into this other building, and we continue running. And then we're like, where exactly are we? Like, we're in another building, and this is like in use, and we see other people around. We're like, oh, this is probably not the best idea. And then we get to the end of like a fence guard thing, and we're like, okay, we're in the clear. We start walking, we're chilling, and then all of a sudden we hear like, put your hands up, freeze, stop right there. And like 2 security guards are pointing guns at us.
Man.
And we're like, what? And they're like, get up against the fence right now. And then literally within a minute, 3 other officers come out. So the school police officers.
And they were being like dicks too. They were just like, we got you guys. Like, you thought you could get away. Like, we got you. Like, they like took your head.
Yeah. And
like,
then like
shoved it into like the wall. Basically.
They ran straight up on us and like,
Oh,
hello, and then like push us into like the walls and like put guns to our heads, and we're like, oh my god, like what? We're used to like getting written a $65 ticket for trespassing, not like gun to my face.
Yeah,
and
really
they're
bad.
like, do you know where you are? We're like, no. And like they were like screaming at us because they didn't believe us, because we were dressed in all black with our masks
And
with like
backpacks.
backpacks with hats on, like we're explorers. Like
Right.
it looks kind of sketch to be whatever. And then they told us, you're at a preschool. Oh, we're like, what?
No
oh my
way.
god, we
So
just like basically
Hopped a
trespassed
fence into a
preschool
with
with
masks
big
and gloves.
bags.
that did not look good.
Yeah,
not
it was
like-
horrible.
Oh, man.
That was why they were like, it was
Yeah.
horrible.
So in that moment, like, what is the first thing you're thinking of at something like that? Me, it's like I'm thinking my whole life is over at this point. What do you guys think?
It was a lot of shock.
Yeah.
Obviously, like, you don't really like think like, oh, what do I do? Like, try to analyze the situation. It's just more kind of like dealing with what's happening like in the moment. And so it was just kind of like oh god, okay, just listen to everything they say. Like, make sure you don't like do anything stupid like at gunpoint, obviously.
I don't know about you, but I always like felt, even in that moment, that we were gonna get out of this. Like, I was like looking back over to you, my head up against the freaking like fence with a gun to my head. We
were both
we got
in
this.
handcuffs.
We got this.
Yeah.
I swear in an hour we'll be out of this. It's
We were also kind of like upset with them because of how they were like we again have had like a lot of cop experiences in the past, but like most of the time they like let you off with a warning, or talk to you like nicely,
or at least they'll hear you out.
Yeah.
These guys weren't even letting us like talk.
Damn.
Like, they didn't even believe that we were from California.
they were like, what are you doing here? Like, yeah, like literally just landed like this morning, like we're filming for YouTube, like we just like told them like complete truth and everything, and they were just like not buying it. It was weird. It wouldn't give us like a chance to like talk at all.
Really?
That's crazy.
That must be terrifying. And then not too much longer.
Like a day later, I think it was the next day, right? Or 2 days later.
Yeah, it's funny because like, yeah, we had that all going on, but literally 45 minutes later, we were on to the next abandoned place for the next video.
So they actually ended up letting you go, or what happened? Like,
They did. So
Sheriffs came.
yeah, all these guys, like you said, were complete dicks, and they were just like, I don't know, screaming at us for an hour, sitting on the side of the sidewalk for such a long time. But then the sheriff came, and he actually heard us out like a cool person. He was like, yo, what's your story? We explained it. He's like, sounds good. I'll subscribe. You guys peace on. I was like, oh, yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go to the next one. Sam and Colby did it again.
I think like what helps is we also look like we're like 7.
yeah. You're like, we go here. We go to this school.
Hey,
what's up?
Don't you know us,
But-
recognize us?
Like, we don't look like we're and we had the camera,
Right.
It's like, it's not like we were hiding anything. There was no spray paint, like,
Yeah.
we don't tag anything anyways.
All
But
right.
like, yeah.
So 2 days later, you decided to wake up and put a Justin Bieber shirt on, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
What went through your head then? you
Oh
know?
my god. Okay, so so yeah, the worst day to wear that shirt of all time, right? Wake up. Yeah, we were with like doing a collab with the Ireland Boys, is like their names, and these poor kids, because like it was like one of the first times we ever like collab with them, so we
Yeah.
didn't really like know them like that well.
Yeah. It's like the second time we met them.
Yeah, so like
Oh,
kind of awkward, like still like, oh, like, we don't know each other, whatever. We decided to take them to a school, but we didn't know the school was still like under construction, and apparently in Florida it's like a government property like felony charge, like if you're trespassing like in a construction zone. But we were really like stupid about it. There was like a fence like lining the entire area that said like
Dude, that's the sad part is
felonies,
we
like
knew
don't go.
it was a bad idea because we'd already been to 2 other places that day and they didn't let us in. Like, we couldn't get in, so we were like, we needed one more video.
Right.
Like if it was the last time, like we were gonna leave tomorrow morning for the flights, we needed this. But we all had a bad feeling. We're like, we can't really do this. Even the Iron Boys were like, man, this is super sketch, but like if you guys could believe, like I guess we'll do it.
Yep.
We all were like, God, I don't really want to do it, but like we have to, you know, it's the last video of the trip.
And that's the thing about also YouTube is like people don't really think about, like, you know, like, I mean, not that they don't think about it, but it's like desperate times calls for desperate measures. You do things that you normally don't really like, wouldn't normally do, but like in the moment you're like, I got to do this for the fans. I got to do this for the audience. They want to watch this, you know? And it makes you do dumb things in a way.
Yes.
And the opportunity was there. Like, when's the next time we're going to be in Florida at that abandoned place?
Right.
You know, probably never.
There were signs everywhere. Like, literally, not just like mental signs, but like signs, like on the fence, like itself saying, like, do not go in here. We did anyways. We ran across this giant field. It was like in the middle of a neighborhood. And we thought like we were fine. Like we thought we like
it was a super
we got
cool
in
school. Like we like walked around for
a long time.
Minutes.
Filmed our video in
cool.
there. Like it was fine. And then all of a sudden, just like one of the guys that we were with was just like, guys, like there's cops outside, but they didn't have their sirens on. They were just like patrolling it. And then like we kept like looking out, and then there was 2 cops. And then there was like 3 cop cars, and we were like, oh shit. And then eventually we saw that they like had surrounded the place.
Oh, so there is no way out at that point.
There's no way out. And they're like, if you guys don't come out right now, we're going to send in the dogs. And we're like,
so we went and, okay, we probably shouldn't say this on camera. Whatever. I'm going to say it anyways. Fuck it.
we're out of the clear. That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, that's a long time ago, but we went and like hid in the closet. We went to like the janitor closet, and we were just like, if we just wait an hour, they won't come in, you know?
They're like, we know you're in there, dude. We saw you on the cameras. And we're like, God dang it. So we go out there, and we're like, you know, again, to us, like, this is just a routine thing. Like, come on, we'll go down, we'll talk to them, we'll tell them our story. They'll be like, you stupid kids. All right, peace out. We'll be on with our day. But they didn't even let us talk. They're like, shut up and turn around. And like, we can't tell our story. Come on. They instantly handcuffed us, took us everything, and then separated us and started questioning us. We're like, this is completely different than what we thought.
Yeah. Right. Oh, yeah. They separated us. That's like a huge point to it. Is like in the closet. In the closet. We were all
we're
like,
in there a lot.
We were talking about like, all right, like what do we tell the cops? Like we gotta like figure out how to have SD cards, you know, like make sure. But then they all took us like to the separate corners, like different places. And so like we ended up just like being like completely honest and being like, yep, we were just filming, didn't break anything. There was a window that was open. That was it. We're sorry. And honestly, every cop there was super, super nice. Like they were super chill. But the sheriff there, unlike the last situation, was like the dick. And he was just like, oh, we got to make an example out of you guys.
Damn.
And, like,
so sad. Like the cops literally told us 3 out of the 4 wanted to let us go, but they couldn't vote out the sheriff,
the main guy.
So the main guy was like, no guys, it's a felony, I can't just say like no, so we're gonna have to arrest you. But all these other guys were like, dude, you guys are awesome, it's all good, man. Keep chilling, keep doing this thing. Like they all subscribed and everything.
Like, this is funny as hell. That's
awesome. Like, are you kidding me? Like
just that one guy. So then I don't want to go too deep into this, but your mug shots went viral later that, like, only not even that many hours later. Like I hadn't heard from you guys, but like I don't talk to you guys every second of the day, so I didn't think anything. But then I'm on Twitter and I see you guys' mug shots. I'm like, what the fuck just happened? You know what I mean?
Can I ask you a question real quick? What was your like initial thought when you saw that?
Well, okay, so my first thought was,
we were all together.
Yeah, we were. I was with you, and then
Billy.
and Billy and like some other people, and we're like, we gotta bail them out. That was our first thought. So I call over to the rest of the group, and I'm like, yo, has anyone done anything? And everyone's like, oh, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like,
typical.
We gotta bail them out. I'm like, so we ended up calling the bail bondsman.
Well, first, didn't we DM like your brother?
I ended up DMing your brother and your sister, hoping like, did someone do anything? Does anyone know anything? Because like, if someone was already handling it, I wasn't gonna get involved. Also,
cool.
Anyways, I'm on the phone with the bail bond. They're like, it's like $6,000 to let go of Colby because he had extra stuff like from his fake IDs or something. And then Sam was like 2,000, but Sam's already like started his process of the bail bonds thing. And I was like, okay, cool. So we just got to get Colby out, and Colby's was like $5,000 or $6,000. I was like, all right, we got to do this. And I'm talking to everyone else, and like people are on Twitter saying like, oh, that they're doing stuff. And like no one had done anything because I was on the phone with the bail bonds, and everyone was like claiming that they were doing stuff for, like to get you guys up, but no one actually did anything. And then what happened after?
I think did you post bail for him?
Yeah. I posted
Okay.
bail for
So
him.
right when we were about to do it, they tell us, oh, someone's posting bail for him already, and like we already knew that you had your bail posted because you did yours automatically, but I don't think he could get himself out because of how high it was or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, you guys had it settled, but you guys were going viral, like the #1 trending topic on Twitter.
You know what's crazy is we had no idea.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, I
zero
literally
clue.
like as I was like walking out, because I got out in like 10 hours. He like waited almost like 24. So like after like 10 hours, I'm like, dang, I gotta go like tell someone about this. And then I walk out into the lobby because I don't have my phone.
Right.
They stole my phone, and I didn't have my phone till like the next day. It was so
they
weird.
take everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't have my phone, so I was just walking around like, dang, I gotta find a payphone. But then someone in the lobby was like, you're the guy that's trending. I'm like, what?
Oh, wow.
No, what?
No
and he's like,
way.
look. And then he shows me this phone, and I'm like everywhere. I'm like, oh my. Okay, I don't need to tell anybody. Like, someone's gonna come over here, please.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a long night.
Oh, and then
Yeah,
we were trying to post bail or something, and they were like, you have to. They said something about like us having to be there. Like we were literally thinking
Oh,
about
really?
going.
Oh, yeah.
Like we were thinking about buying flights to go out there the next day.
No
Well, it was like that
way.
same night.
Yeah, it was all the same night. So we were literally looking at flights about to fly
thank
out there
you
and like
guys.
save you guys. But then
That'd be so
it
cool.
came out. I know. We were thinking like, this is gonna be awesome. We're saving Sam
Yeah,
and Colby.
yeah.
Reuniting.
Right, exactly. I was like, this is gonna be the best clickbait ever.
Yeah, saving Sam. Oh my god.
I think we started rolling on it too, just in case.
Yeah, like
we were like,
Yeah.
we had the footage of us talking to the bail bonds, like trying to like get
That's
you guys
smart.
out of this, but
That's
like then
smart.
it just didn't end up working out because Sam saved you.
Yeah.
But you know that all happened, and like you were in jail.
Yeah,
like, for a
I was in a
while.
cell.
Right.
Yeah. So like,
Yeah, and I couldn't talk to him. So
Yeah.
like, I was doing all this stuff, and I knew when he was gonna get out, but he had no idea. He
Yeah,
was like in
he's-
the dark.
zero clue. And obviously they don't tell you anything. Like
Yeah.
they're like the deputies don't give a crap about you at all. But like, just to, like preface it a little bit. Sam and I were like in this like waiting room for jail. It's like where you take like your mugshot, like
Yeah.
do all the paperwork, all that stuff.
Great
but-
mugshots, by the way.
Thank
Both
you.
guys. It could have been worse.
I knew it was like we were just like we gotta make it.
like when we were sitting there like waiting to get him, like this is gonna be on a shirt one day.
Come on. And it was on a shirt, right? You guys
Yeah.
were
It was
on a shirt.
There you go. It paid off, kind of.
Yeah.
It paid for itself, I guess.
Yeah, but it was crazy. So like I walked into jail with the Justin Bieber shirt on and painted nails.
Oh,
right?
man,
So I had,
yeah.
and I think I had blue hair at the time too.
But
so
your
it was like
cut off gloves.
Yeah, I think so. You know, piercings everywhere, so everybody's just kind of like, who's this guy?
Come on,
You
yeah.
know? Then you have to like change it to the orange jumpsuit,
Yeah.
all that shit. And there was this one crazy looking dude, probably like drug addict guy that like just looked at me up and down, was just like, they're gonna love you in there.
Oh fuck.
I swear to God,
God.
just like a movie,
Oh,
just like a movie. I was
God.
like, oh. But anyways, Sam was able to bail himself out. We had this like movie like scene where Sam was like leaving the jail while I had to like get called like, to the back.
No.
Where I was
Yeah.
like, you better, because that was the last time we were going to talk to each other.
Yeah.
I had no idea how long I was going to be in there.
Right.
And so I was just like, you got to do this as
got
fast as you can.
this.
So I was like, I got this. Like, I'm going to get you out as fast as possible. I promise. I'm
I'm gonna get you out of there.
Like, it was like one of those like,
Like
movie
emotional.
movies.
You guys are holding hands. No.
That's so funny.
Drag you to the back. Yeah. But yeah, I was in a cell for about 24 hours. I got moved to 2 different, I think it's called like pods. Yeah, it's like where there's like a bunch of cells. There's like a gym and stuff, like a basketball court, like all that stuff. And yeah, it was just,
luxurious.
Yeah, it's not bad.
there was a lot of stuff in there. Yeah, not even kidding. But like, yeah, I kind of just kept to myself like for most of the day. There was like a couple like nicer people like that like kind of like, I don't know if I should say like made friends with, but
Right.
like we were like friendly with each other and like kind of like got through it together. But like the second pod that I was in, I got like transferred to a felony pod is what it's called, because I had 3.
Yeah.
Like the IDs were also felonies as well, so I had 3 felonies like
Right.
under my name. So that's like you get put with all the worst of the worst, like all the felons of like Florida. And so I'm like, oh god, this is like where I die. And so like a deputy takes us to the pod. I go like inside my. This guy was actually really nice, this deputy, and he was just like, why are you in here, man? Like what's going on? Told him the story, whatever, and he was just like, okay, all you need to do is just like stay in your cell, like go grab a book. There was books there too, weird. Go grab a book, stay in your cell, just don't talk to anybody. That's it. That's all you need to do. And so that's what I did. I grabbed a book, I went to my cell, and like eventually like I heard like the door starting to open, so I was about to like see like my new cellmate.
Yeah.
Because again, I went to like 2, and it like opens the door. I see this like huge dude like no hair, like just completely bald skinhead, like tattoos everywhere, like super scary. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
Like, this is where I die. And he was like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing, bro? Like, what are you in here for, dog? Cool. And he was like, oh yeah, I was just drug trafficking, like cocaine across the border, and like shit, I'm like in here for like 2 years, like oh man, whatever, like waiting for like my court date, and I was just like, oh god. And so I told him what I did, and he was like just super cool, and he was like, there's nothing to be afraid of, man. Like I know like a lot of people around here, like we're fine, like I'll take care of you. And so like I promise you, like he just took me out of the cell, and we just had like a really fun time.
You just chill.
I think that's like a lesson though, like when the one guy comes up to you and they're like, I'll help you out, I got you. I think that's like when you're supposed to say like no.
Yeah, like no, hell no. And I was really like, no, it's like I'm gonna read my book, and he was like, are you sure? Yeah, I'm gonna read my book, okay. And then it was like a thing where he left, came back 30 minutes later, like, hey, like dude, like you gotta come like out and like, you know. And it was like we played basketball,
meet the boys. And later he joined the gang and he's in the gang now.
Exactly. That's the other tattoo that isn't showed everybody.
Right, there we go.
No, it was really cool.
Continue, sorry.
That like our parents, they didn't even really care that much.
Yeah.
Like, well, they cared, but they were just like, oh, I'm glad, or oh, I'm like happy for us that you're safe.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's it.
You weren't staying in there, but
Right.
you got out there. We knew it was gonna happen because like they knew what we were gonna do. Like we did abandoned videos for 2 years. Like they were just like expected it.
Right.
So it was super cool actually.
Yeah,
And all the fans like were chill too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that really like kind of brought you guys to the next level. You know what I mean?
Yes,
in a way, because like
100%.
you guys were doing great on YouTube the whole time, but like I feel like after that was like really like a huge spike for you guys.
Yeah, and it was a great way, like you were saying, like just to get like a lot of eyes on us like at once, because like everybody was just like, oh, who are Sam and Colby? Oh, they just got arrested. Oh, why? Like how? Like who are they? And like so we were like in the spotlight for a second. That's like how like our series content like came to be, and like we started like really devoting time and like really like working on our editing like a lot more and like the filming and all that stuff.
And that's all great, by the way. I know Sam was doing it you guys are both doing it in the beginning. Sam was doing like a lot of the effects and stuff. By the way, great work on that, Sam.
He does that. Yeah, the music effects.
Yeah, that was
like
looking
title
great.
screens, like all that. I like cut it up.
Yeah.
So it's like
it's kind of like the same thing.
Yeah.
No, it was a really good stepping stone and learning experience. It was more like, okay, well, now that we're kind of done with that era, and we know like if we don't do it right, what could go wrong. We like had to spend a lot more time on it, and that really helped our content.
Definitely.
So then after now putting that all aside, you guys then got into the more paranormal stuff. Like I know you guys were kind of already doing some stuff there, but like what made you want to like? Were you guys always interested in the paranormal, or what happened there?
Yeah. So like along with like all the abandoned places that we were already like going to, it kind of like went hand in hand like with that, because like it's scary dark place that's about to like fall apart. It's probably haunted,
Yeah.
And so. Wait, what? Do you know the first video that we did that was paranormal? Like the very first one? I don't even know.
We did a lot of scary videos way back when, but it was just we came to the conclusion that there was a lot more legally abiding places that were like haunted than like the abandoned stuff.
Right,
so
that you wouldn't get arrested for.
Yeah. So like we could do it
Trespassing.
easier, like doing hotel rooms and like caves and stuff, so as opposed to breaking into places.
Yeah.
Right.
So the name of the game here is Share Your Scare. That's what this is all about. I know that's a terrifying experience, but I feel like you guys have a lot of scary ass stories.
Yes,
pardon my French, but can you guys get into like what is the scariest thing that happened to you guys as paranormal enthusiasts? What happened?
There's a bunch of different.
There's a lot. The most famous one, like the most, we've said this like a million times. It's like the Queen Mary story.
Right.
I think I've even like told you about it like a little bit. But yeah, like I could talk about this like story for like 2 hours, so I'll just like dumb it down to like a little version. But like basically we stayed there to like film a YouTube video, stayed overnight. Nothing really happened the entire time. You can see that on our video too. Like hardly anything happened.
And for those of you guys that don't know what Queen Mary is, it's like a haunted ghost ship.
Oh yeah. In Long
and
Beach.
like it's a hotel, so you can stay over there. And there's this one room, B340, that wasn't open for 30 years.
Oh man. Yeah.
Because of how many unexplained deaths were in that room.
Yes.
So they actually had to shut that room down. Because they couldn't explain why people were dying.
Yeah.
They had just opened it up that year, and we were within the first month to go there.
There were like people dying in their sleep there,
That's
just like randomly.
crazy.
Yeah, because I remember I saw on the news that they opened up this room finally. I called to try to book myself a room, but they're like, "Oh no, we're booked for the next like 3 months."
Yeah.
and then you
But
guys,
we got it.
Yeah,
We're
you
like,
guys
"Let's
got
go."
it. You guys must have saw the segment faster, you know.
Yeah.
But so then a lot of stuff didn't. I mean, I feel like that's kind of like normal. I feel like for paranormal stuff, they don't want to be
Yeah.
seen on camera. So what happened
Exactly.
after the camera turned off?
So yeah, again, like we were like, all right, this is you know, this is probably like a bullshit place, like a dud, like whatever. Let's just like leave. And so like we are literally packing up the backpack and stuff. Turn camera off, and immediately like when we turn the camera off, like the water faucet just like turns on.
Man.
And so
Like, louder than we've ever heard anything.
like
Really?
It's like
like
rushing
definitely
water.
somebody turned it on like at least halfway, like you could hear it for sure. And so and you can see this in the video as well, like we turn on the camera immediately and like all of our like faces are just like completely
In
changed.
shock, yeah.
Yeah, and like Corey's like about to cry.
Yeah, I saw that.
And like eyes red and everything, we run to the bathroom and like you can see like the water on the sinks. Like we knew it wasn't just like something we imagined or something like that. And so we tried again like on camera to get something to talk to us, which is how we do it, is we just literally like speak into the air and be like, hey, talk to us type thing. But nothing was happening. And so we were like, okay, maybe it's just like you were saying, one of those things where like they can just tell like when you're filming, they don't, you know, want to be on camera. So we turned off all the lights, turned off the cameras, turned off everything, and just sat in like the darkness, which is really creepy in this room. And like tried to like talk to something, and eventually like got like these knocks back that we started like hearing. Yeah.
So you were communicating through knocks, essentially.
Yeah.
It
Yes,
was like a weird pattern that we'd say like, yo, knock once for yes, and anything more than once for no. And so we'd ask like yes or no questions, like back and forth. And what was strange is that no matter what we asked, when we asked it, it would knock immediately after the question. And it would never knock without a question. And like, so it was I think 35-minute long time where we were like asking these questions. So we had a lot of time, you know, because it's off camera, we're like really thinking about like every possibility of like why this is real or why it wouldn't be. And so we try like testing it. So we'd ask it like questions like, are you alone? And it'd be like, no. Are you with other people? Yes. Like it would answer like different
Like
ways.
it never
to
messed up.
to the same answer. And then we'd be like, yo, like knock on like a different wall, and it would knock like outside the window. Like how would a worker or someone who's trying to trick us like get outside the window?
Yeah, in
like
the closet,
all different
like,
areas.
the ceiling, like right underneath us. And there was like this one point where, and you'll have to like remind me what we actually said, but like somebody said something that was like a realization. Like it was like, oh, you guys are this, or like, oh, this is why this is happening. And the entire like ground like went boom.
No
just
way.
like shook, like, and like vibrated.
Yeah.
What did you remember?
Yeah. We were like testing it back and forth, and then a couple of us wanted to leave, and then so we got up and we started like walking around, and then we're like, no, I really think they like want us to like like they just want company.
Yeah, they
And
want us
then-
to stay.
And,
Boom.
Yeah, and then we're like, yeah, I
shoot.
think they want us to stay, and it was like boom, and they're like, oh, do you want us to stay? Boom again, and it was just like they obviously wanted us to keep staying there. It was super weird.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
But long story short, like we talked for a long time,
Yeah.
like to them, like back and forth. And I think it was Aaron got kind of freaked out because he thought it was something more like demonic instead of just like a spirit. Because we started getting the questions about like afterlife and like God and stuff like that.
Oh, you guys are asking deep questions.
Yeah.
It
and-
took a while, but yeah, we got to that point. Like I think the last question we asked was like, is there a heaven? And it was trying to tell us that there wasn't.
No
Yeah, it was like,
way.
no.
And
And
then-
as soon as that happened, like Aaron was like, you could just see in like in his face, he was like so red and flustered. He was like, we gotta go, let's get out of here, let's get out of here. So we all stood up and we ran out. We couldn't even like convince him to stay.
Really?
So we ran out of there.
We hardly talked. Like I said 0 words from the time from the like room all the way to our car, and then like he like exhaled. Like, oh my god, dude, that was a demon. And like
Yeah,
we
he
were
was
like,
like, we
freaked
had to
the
get
fuck
out of there because he was like lying to us about like heaven and stuff. He was like,
That's scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have goosebumps with you guys telling me this story.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then
yeah.
like 10 minutes later on the drive home, he's like, but guess what? And he pulls out his phone and he's like, I recorded the whole thing.
No
Yeah.
way. He came
We
in
didn't
clutch.
know. Like the entire time we were completely under the impression that was just us and there's
Yep.
no cameras. So the fact that he'd had that was like a godsend.
Yeah, and so it's on YouTube. Like you
Yeah.
can listen to like our entire conversation, all the knocks you can hear, like, and you can hear that they're in different places. You can hear the loud like boom I was talking about, and like, dude, every single time I talk about this, I get all shaky. Like it's crazy. It's like
so
you can
weird.
almost like feel
That's
that
crazy.
energy coming
and
back.
People, if you want to watch that, it's on the Sam and Colby YouTube channel. Check it out.
Hell yeah.
That's insane, dude. So like, when you were having these conversations with it, like, did you ever think like I don't know, like should I be asking this? Like, you know, there's certain things when playing the Ouija board that you don't ask, like you don't show yourself, like don't ask none of that stuff. Like, was there a time where you guys were like, maybe we shouldn't ask this, but you know, I'm curious. What was that question that you asked?
I think so. I think it was like towards the end when it started getting more deep, like you just tell like the vibe of like all of us are just gonna like, Aaron, why are you asking that shit, dude? Like don't do that. And so yeah, it didn't get like horrible though. I think that was like one of the worst things. It's just like, is heaven real?
Oh man.
Yeah, it wasn't like super deep.
So what did you take away from that? Like, do you believe? I mean, this is kind of bad. Should we ask that? Is that a question to ask? But like, did it like change your beliefs?
Yeah, man. I mean, like, it was definitely something that like I was always not struggling, but like I was always just like questioning everything.
Right,
you know, like I'm born and raised like a Christian, and like I've always like believed in that, but then like when we started getting into like ghost stuff, it was just like, well, then how does like spirits like fit into Christianity? Like that doesn't make sense. Like if everybody goes, you know, heaven or hell, like what is like a spirit? And the fact that we heard something like in this realm, like kind of convinced us that like there is something else. So like it didn't really say like, okay, this is what we believe in now. It was like there's definitely just something else out there. There's like a spiritual realm that like I'm 100% confident is like around us that we don't see. We don't have like the capabilities to see.
Yeah, definitely. I think like same story. I've been like struggling with like, or I had been struggling with like religion and stuff like that. But obviously we weren't going to trust whatever it said, because like a lot of us thought that it was like a demon type of style. But just the fact that we were getting things and we were able to prove in so many different ways that like it was real and it wasn't like some, you know, employee or some like weird mind trick or something. It like made me like really step back and think like, okay, maybe there's, you know, an afterlife. So it was like a really positive experience, even though it was like a horrifying like ghost experience. It was also like
there is something else. Like there is
really
something,
cool.
regardless of what you believe in out there. It's like there is something that nobody knows about.
Yeah. So do you guys like think the moment you left the room, I mean in different scenarios, like do you think that you guys are like completely safe, or has there any like, are you guys scared that something's gonna follow you into your normal life or anything like that?
I don't think so, because like we definitely think like the last trap house we were like living in. Trap house sounds bad. That's our brand. That's our brand.
That's the brand.
You named it.
Yeah.
You came up with the holy crap.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
It came up with just different vlogs, you know. I was like, I'm gonna just call this place the Trap House.
Yeah.
And then it's just stuck.
It's
so,
stuck.
You know, I expect my 10% royalty.
But we're pretty sure, or at least Corey claims, like for the most part, that like that was haunted.
No, I
And,
was
like,
there. That place was sus. It was definitely, you know, like there was some weird stuff happening, weird noises that would randomly happen in that house.
Yeah, all the time. But personally, I don't know if, like, I definitely I still think like there are things like around, but I don't think I'm like ever being like haunted by something.
Right, or like attached.
2020 right now, I think I'm fine.
And I think we got to a point, we talked to a lot of experts through all of our paranormal stuff, and like there hasn't really been recordings of major like deaths or like, I don't know, pain that has been caused from a spirit. So even if we are, you know, contracted something, or I don't know, something's following us, we're not actually really in danger. So
yeah.
So you really don't think that, like, because I'm asking you guys because I don't know, but like I know I've heard stories of like ghosts picking up keys and moving them somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if you've heard stuff like that, but so you really don't think that they could actually harm you if they wanted to? Or what is your thoughts on that?
maybe in like a bad luck
Right.
type of thing, but it's not like, oh, I'm gonna
pick up a knife and stab you.
Yeah, it's not like you're gonna see like a little white cloth walking around like stabbing.
A white claw walking around.
White claw.
Yeah, I don't know, and I think it like goes back to like religion a little bit too. Like if you you know, have trust in like God and like Jesus Christ and stuff like that, and like really, you know, believe that like He has a plan for you, and like you can, you know, control things in your life like that, then like you'll be safe. You know, if you just like trust in the right things. Like don't mess with the Ouija board. Don't like try to contact any like demons or scary things, and just like have your faith. And
Right.
Yeah, that's something we've been really trying to work on with like our brand and like elevating the whole Explorer channel, is doing it more correctly. We've always were just kind of like, let's go in there and try it ourselves, but now like we, you know, contact experts, like get like actual advice on how to do these seances and do it correctly, because doing it dangerously can maybe lead to something following you. But there are ways that, you know, contacting the spiritual realm like is great, you know, like you can learn a lot or like experience a lot of cool things.
Yeah, definitely.
Damn, that's crazy. So we won't go into too much, but I know you guys have a book out now. You guys are authors called Paradise Island.
Yeah.
What is the premise behind this? Because I see there's like a scary looking ghoul or something on the cover. Like, what happened there? Is that another paranormal type story?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Yeah. In the way in, it takes like a crazy turn. But basically, like every single year, like Sam and I and like our high school friends, like we all like meet up and like do this like annual, what we call like a boys trip every single year. And last year we went to Hawaii, and it was just supposed to be us four, just like us hanging out. But who was? Oh yeah, Nate like ended up knowing somebody on the island of like this place that was completely closed off to like the rest of Kauai is like where we went, because there was like a flood like a couple of years ago or sometime that like destroyed all the roads, so you can't even get there without like being like a visitor, and so or like living there, and so we had like the opportunity to go visit that side of the island, which was like super rare. So we like ended up taking it, and it was like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, we had no intent of filming these things. We've never filmed these boys trips, and you know, we weren't even trying to do anything paranormal. We're like, yo, this is paradise. Yo, this is like Hawaii. Let's have a good time, you know, like drink, like hang out, whatever. So we went up to this place, and things just got super weird. Like to the point where, you know, we've been doing paranormal for a very long time, and even we were like, yo, we might die here.
Really? You guys actually thought
it was like seriously weird. Like not in the sense of like, oh my God, this is so scary. It was like I actually don't know if we're gonna like make it out of this. Like it was like a genuine and like, oh God.
We're trying to kind of like, we're both trying to like tiptoe around it because we don't really want to like spoil anything.
Yeah.
But like just to give you just another like sneak peek of like what happened is we took like a helicopter ride like the next day, and like as we were passing over like the house that we stayed in on this island, like the helicopter guy was just like, oh yeah, you know that house? Yeah, the rumor is like an old witch lives there.
Oh, and that's where you guys stayed?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
If that tells you anything.
And so the day before, we like really wanted to go snorkeling, and so we like go into this rental place and like talk to the person like, oh, where are you gonna go snorkeling? And we told her the beach on the other side of the island where you can't go to, and she's like, oh, how'd you get there? And we're like, oh, well, we know a local. He's like, you know, like no one goes up there, right? And we're like, what? And they're like, just be careful. And we're like, what is that supposed to mean? You can't just say that like in some like ominous way. And she's like, just trust me. The people over there are a little bit weirder than the norm. And we're like, what is that supposed to mean? And then we found out, and it made us so much more sense.
That's crazy.
Nice.
But even the locals trying to warn us.
Yeah, that's terrifying. So this book comes out November 17th, right?
Yes,
November 17th. You can pre-order it on Amazon right now. Paradise Island, Sam and Colby, authors. Man, you guys are gonna become best New York sellers.
Hopefully, fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Go. That's crazy.
Hopefully.
So
we're trying to.
You know, I think that's almost all the time we have here on the podcast, but I just want to say, man, thank you guys for coming on the podcast. I really do appreciate it.
Of course.
Where can the people find you if they don't know who you are right now?
All handles Sam and Colby.
Yeah, just ask Sam and Colby everywhere.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Check out our videos.
You guys got a lot of stuff coming up, or is the book the next big thing for you guys?
We got tons of
Yeah,
stuff.
we got a lot of things coming out.
Season 3 just began, man.
Yes,
Let's go.
sir. I better be on one of these season 3 videos. I'm just saying.
Let's
Let's
do
go,
it.
man.
Let's do it. All right. All right. Well, that wraps up this podcast. I appreciate you guys a lot. And if you guys at home have your own scares that you want to share, you can call them in at 626-275-8695, or you can email them to shareyourscarepod@gmail.com, and that's a UR, and maybe you'll end up on the show. So thank you guys, Sam and Colby. You guys are legends. Keep up the paranormal stuff and keep up the scary videos because I am intrigued.
Thank you, man.
Good to see you, man.
Yes, thank you guys.
Hell yeah.
That's a wrap.
That's it.